In 2014, and I did a lot of readings, like more than 40 that year. And now 2015 has ended, and there were a bunch in 2015 too, but I got sick of reading from the book. But now it's been a little while, so I'm ready to read you guys some poems from the book again. So, How to Take a Bullet and Other Survival Poems. All the titles in the book have been ruthlessly appropriated from the Worst Case Scenario Survival Handbook. They are all how-to poems, and they are all the kind of things that could save your life. How to survive adrift at sea. There are handprints all over your weekends, windows thrown wide to the night. The curve of loneliness renders strange fingers brushing your bare shoulder. You concoct an elixir of fire. Goldfish swim below the surface of sleep, unfurling the lantern sea until you can't stop dreaming the wet of it. You savor the sensation of drowning instead of writing. An impossible crush unfastens something that was neatly folded. Paper-thin panties hit the floor, dissolve into mint ice cream, the fragrance of another Wednesday night. But desire is never permanent, and something new inflates your lungs, vacating old beliefs. In the nick of time, in the nick of bone, in the bed of another lesson, in the unspoken, miles are traveled, and with these scissors, you can mend the holes. How to fend off a shark. Wet fists in your eyes, the thump of undrumming, a figure in your peripheral vision. Here is the rind of night, facing off on a rock of ice, nightgown whipping, ragged around your thighs. Because silence is an expression of fear. Unwave that flag, unsmoke that cigarette, unfuck that friend. These desperate little fistfuls of defiance. This jazz song does not belong to you. Warm, the sensation of sleep. Threadbare, the quality of wishing. Because police are at the door again. This wrecking ball in your bedroom. This fresh fountain of silver in your hair. Blue, the function of smoke. Rumpled, the flavor of resistance. There are things that vanish unexpectedly. The stone talisman you carried for luck. Photographs burned in a fire. Bewildered, the pillow of regret. Because our experiences overlap, bodies at rest, hoarding dreams like stolen rainwater. All right, sweater's off. It's warm in here, right? All right. Darker? Yeah? Yes. The answer's always yes. How to perform a tracheotomy. This is my free bird, you guys. The first thing you need to know is that the tracheotomy is an act of desperation and/or violence that should only be committed when there is no other option. Some circumstances when it might be necessary to perform a tracheotomy. The victim is choking on a thin mint and is unresponsive to the Heimlich maneuver. The victim is your lover, and she has disappointed you by eating the last Girl Scout cookie. The victim wrote bitch on the side of your car with a Sharpie. The victim has an irritating high-pitched voice or a British accent. The victim is a stranger that fell in front of a bus wearing shoes you could never afford. What you will need: a razor blade, knife, scissors, or hammer. A straw, a pen, or a stale red vine. There will not be time for sterilization of your tools, so don't bother. Infection is the least of your worries. How to proceed. 1. Kneel over the victim and whisper, "Do you know what you've done to deserve this?" 2. Move your finger about 1 inch down the neck until you feel a bulge. 3. Seize the tool of your choosing and grasp it with both hands high above your head. 4. Aim for the bulge and be brave. 5. Insert the breathing straw into the bloody hole. 6. If you have done the procedure correctly, you should be able to remove the victim's shoes. 7. Run away. avoid breaking through the ice. The trick is to glide across the surface of life like children skating a winter pond. Mittened hands clasped, cheeks and noses pink with cold, hearts pumping exertion, exhilaration, as round and round they rush, avoiding the weak edges, threatening to break, open like thunder, and plunge you into the deep. A light snow falls, flakes settle unnoticed on eyelashes, a fresh glaze of white erasing, slim lines of barren forest, the silent hawk circling, brush strokes against the sky. In the distance, a curl of smoke grazed the air above your home, but you do not think of your mother, chopping wood, building the fire, working nights at the factory. You do not think of your father, somewhere far away, trying to sketch your face in his notebook, realizing he can no longer conjure your image, turning instead to the waitress, drawing the curve of her neck, the line of her hip, her apron. She is unaware of the secret growing inside her, somewhere beneath the slippery surface in the frigid dark, where life moves at its own pace. How to take a bullet. The wind is loud and deliberate, like big brothers, and trucks on the highway. It brings the dark odor of low tide, blows a black fog into the hills, where it settles in like a foreign occupation, erases the contours of horizon. Trees whisper and sway, tap nervous fingers against glass houses. A train hurries by, its whistle a wail, a fleeting moan, a mother on the anniversary of her son's death. You are on your knees, curled into yourself, rocking, singing, his uniform pressed to your cheek like a blankie. How to survive an avalanche. You guys are so quiet. Using only your keyboard, trace the outline of the woman you've always wanted to be. When you find yourself filling in the hair, the scales, the sharp, sharp teeth, let the sky bleed into the margins of this burgeoning narrative, this dirty white noise. Let her blind rope find you in the dark. These paper-soft fingertips, threadbare and alone, accumulating snow with wet, red edges. How to smoke a cigar. I feel like I have smoked one. Rough the edges, steamy as gravel. Your voice, smoke blue, graphite soft, a rain-slicked city. Focus your mouth, the lips are key. Unhinge your wicked daydreams. Let your teeth graze and your breath breathe. Head back, adjust your hat. Your heat a small fever, beating like a sun. Stained fingers taste tobacco and earth, tiny lessons of adulthood. Your journey maps the body, unfurling its ghosts, shadow ballerinas, twirling for no one. Just gonna read 2 more. How to escape when tied up. No one can know your unpronounceable name. Raw skin and chapped hands measure the power of invisibility. This is your country now. Tapestry of lost ambitions, pale as dust on the surface of someone else's bed. Turn your eyes upward to let shadows crawl across ceiling cracks, the soft accents of bondage. There's something about the texture of this burlap landscape. Its loose weave lets in rain and the rough hands of men. How to land a plane. It's the small things that hold us, handcuffs and leftover puzzle pieces, names like fences that keep us home. Always the stories are about freedom, how to disentangle, how to unglue. You are a kite on a frayed string. You are breakfast every morning. You are the voice of your mother, quietly unscrewing the light bulb. You are the dog barking at strangers and skateboards. The city still beats at the heart of you. But the music of longing is melancholy. How can this grasping gesture reconcile the notion of impermanence? The door is open, and you can see the bright invitation of sun and sky. You are drawn to motion, like leaves unwinding the wind. Eventually, you will land somewhere. Thank you.